How's it going, everybody? Ross here, and welcome back to the channel. Today, virtually through my phone, we are going to review the 2025-2026 New York Islanders season, a unforgettable season to say the least, a season that was magical for 65%, the first 65% of it, and then the last 35% was not all that fun. So, team stats, we are going to look at all the stats for where the New York Islanders are. Even strength, offensive zone time percentage, the Islanders, they're only showing the top 10. The Islanders are not listed on there. 5-on-5 shot attempts per game. The Islanders are around literally mid 16th with 57.5. Shots on goal allowed per game, the Islanders are 14th in that category with 27.7. It does seem a little bit more, though. Less than last year. Shots on goal per game for the Islanders, 13th, 28.2. A little better than last year, I believe. Although I really don't remember. Team save percentage. The Islanders are top 10 in over here, 8th in the league with an .896 average save percentage. Of course, out of all of these top 10 teams, the Islanders are not the only team that missed the playoffs. The Capitals missed, the Calgary Flames missed, and the Rangers missed. Team shutouts, the Islanders won that. The Islanders had the more shutouts than any team this season with 9. We'll get to who had those shutouts in a little bit. Wins when scoring first, of course. You see the Washington Capitals are in the top 5 in a lot of these categories, and they missed the playoffs. Just a little thing to note. The Islanders are tied for 14th with Ottawa and Los Angeles with 28. Overtime wins, the Islanders are tied for second with Montreal, San Jose, and Utah with 10. Minnesota has the most with 11, but the Islanders went undefeated in overtime. The only team, I'm pretty sure, to ever go 10-0 in overtime. And that's not counting shootouts. Sudden death overtime. Face-off percentage, the Islanders are top 5 in here, 5th with 52.6%. Only the Bruins, Maple Leafs, Senators, and Rangers have a better percentage. The penalty kill, the Islanders' PK drastically improved this year. Top 10 penalty kill, 80.8%. But the power play was still horrendous. They finished 30th, 16.5%. Better than last year. They were at like 12% last year, but still third to last, only Calgary and Philadelphia worst. Goals against, Islanders are tied for 7th with 236 with Carolina. That's good. That means they have good goaltending, as we already know. But goals for the Islanders are 24th with 229. Not the greatest. So now we look at the Islanders' official standings. I want to shout out, before we do this, I want to shout out 2 players who did not get to play this season due to injury. That is Pierre Engvall and Semyon Varlamov. Engvall got injured during training camp, I'm pretty sure. And Varlamov, he got hurt during last year, sometime during the Thanksgiving 2024. He had 2 knee replacements. And as a matter of fact, at the time of I'm filming this video, last night he played his first professional game since that injury in over 500 days, playing for the Bridgeport Islanders, and he got the win in his first game back. And he could very well be an option for the Islanders next year as a goaltender. So huge congratulations to Varlamov, and very cool to see how hard he's worked to get back to playing again. So here we go. We're going to go to goaltending first. Of course, Semyon Varlamov did not play this year. Marcus Hogberg is listed over here, but he really was a backup as an in case when Sorokin was injured for a little bit. But he really only played, as you can see, he only played 13 minutes. So let's see. David Riddick. Let's see, first player on our list is David Riddick in his first season with the Islanders. The 33-year-old had 14 wins and 10 losses, 3 overtime and shootout losses. He had an .894 save percentage, marginally better than last year with the LA Kings, and had 2 shutouts. There was a stretch. He was very good at the start, but then there was a stretch at the end of December, early January, when Sorokin was injured for 2 weeks, and David Riddick, I believe, played 7 straight games. After that, he wasn't really the same. That leads us to our number one star, our number one goaltender, and probably, arguably, MVP of the season for the Islanders. That is Ilya Sorokin. Sorokin, of course, since he came to the Islanders in 2021, he has been lights out. 29 wins, 24 losses, 2 overtime and shootout losses. He does have a .906 save percentage. Obviously, that doesn't tell the full story. He has 7 shutouts, though. That, I think, does tell the full story. Sorokin also now has the most shutouts by any goaltender in Islanders history, including a 44 save performance when the Islanders won 9-0 against the Devils. So Sorokin is definitely in conversation for the Vezina Trophy, which is goaltender of the year. I don't think he'll get it. If the Islanders did not choke in the final 20-something games of the season and made the playoffs, Sorokin would definitely will win it. But because the Islanders choked and they missed the playoffs, I don't think Sorokin's going to win it. But I hope I'm wrong. Skater-wise, we're going to mention the 2 players that were traded midway through the season. Max Siplikov, he was entering his second year with the Islanders. He had 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in 27 games. Really wasn't doing that much and was actually doing bad in the few games that he did play. So he was traded to the New Jersey Devils, where he is now. And also an Islander of all time. Maybe he might be in a trivia question later on. Jonathan Drouin, who decided to take over the 29 after Brock Nelson was traded to Colorado. Drouin had 3 goals, 18 assists, 21 points in 55 games. Majority of those points came in the first 2 months of the season. He did not score in his final 34 games, I'm pretty sure, with the Islanders. And I was getting frustrated with Drouin, watching Jonathan Drouin play. And I guess the Islanders were too. So they traded Drouin at the deadline to St. Louis. So now let's get... the only 2 players who are not mentioned over here are Cole McWard and Liam Foudy, who did not score any points in the games they appeared in. Liam Foudy appeared in the last game of the season on Tuesday against Carolina, and Cole McWard appeared in 3 games. Let's see. Travis Mitchell, of course, he appeared in 9 games for the Islanders and scored his first NHL goal against the Anaheim Ducks. I'm pretty sure he is a regular in Bridgeport? Yes, he is. Is it? So he will get some playoff hockey with Bridgeport in the Calder Cup playoffs. The same thing goes for the 15th overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft. Victor Eklund, very promising prospect. The 19-year-old made his NHL debut on Tuesday in the season finale and got an assist. And he's also with Bridgeport now and trying to lead them to a Calder Cup. Isaiah George is here. He's also going to Bridgeport. He was called up in the NHL a little bit. He was technically a rookie last year because he did play 33 games with the Islanders due to a lot of the defense core getting injured. But this year, George only played 4 games. He got 1 assist. But in the 4 games that he did play, Isaiah George looked really good. Hopefully, there's a defensive spot open for him next season. And then we got Alex Romanov. Some of you may have forgotten that Alex Romanov is still on the team. Romanov, this year was his first year of his 7-year deal with the Islanders, his 7-year extension with the Islanders, and he played 15 games before a shoulder injury which ended his season. He only collected 1 assist. Hopefully, Romanov rebounds next season in great fashion. Another Bridgeport talent, Marshall Warren, a Long Island native, appeared in 8 games and got 3 assists. Warren, like Isaiah George last year, Warren has potential but needs some work. But I gotta say, he did look very good. Adam Boquist, he was pretty much scratched the majority of the season. As you can see, he only played 28 games. He was never sent down, so he was basically scratched for the majority of the season. He collected 4 assists, and as the games he played went on, he did look a little bit better, but not by much. Unless he is a free agent now, so I don't know what the Islanders are going to do with Boquist. Here we go. Now the 2 players the Islanders received from trades. Carson Soucy, who started this season with the Rangers, traded to the Islanders in January. He had 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points in 30 games. I got to tell you, Carson Soucy, look at that minus 10. I got to tell you, Soucy, I did not enjoy watching Carson Soucy on the Islanders, to be honest with you. And I hope the Islanders do not re-sign him in any way. Soucy is also a free agent. Unfortunately, who's not a free agent, Andre Palat, the guy that killed the Islanders out of the playoffs from his days in Tampa Bay in 2020 and 2021. Palat started the season with the Devils and then was traded to the Islanders in the Max Siplikov trade. Palat with 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points in 29 games, trying to be a replacement for Kyle Palmieri when he got injured, and it failed horribly. The even worse part is that the Islanders retained his contract, too, so Palat technically still has a year left. But if I were general manager, I would just buy out the rest of Palat's contract. But again, we'll see what happens. Next up, a couple of 4th-liners. Kyle McLean, 7 points in 59 games. For the McLean, a little worse than last year, but for the role he plays on the 4th line, he did okay. I feel like he would be a better fit for Bridgeport, though, or Hamilton, because the Bridgeport Islanders are moving to Hamilton next year. Same thing goes for Mark Gatcomb. This was his 2nd season with the Islanders. 7 points in 49 games, a little less points than last year. But again, for the role that he plays on the 4th line, he was good. But Gatcomb is a free agent, so curious to see what the Islanders do with him. I'd like to keep Mark Gatcomb, but again, We'll see what happens. The third acquisition the Islanders got, and the only one they got at the trade deadline, St. Louis Blues captain Braden Shen. He started the season as the Blues captain and was brought to the Islanders, where he had 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in 19 games. A lot of people don't like this trade because the Islanders started to collapse at right after this, and they ended up missing the playoffs. But for Braden Shen himself, he's looked okay. And he does have 2 years left on his deal. Same thing with Andre Palat. The Islanders retain Shen's contract that he had with St. Louis, which is 2 years left. Again, we know Shen is probably going to be in the lineup next year. After that, I don't know. But Braden Shen has been very influential for Cal Ritchie, I think. Scott Mayfield. Scott Mayfield did get much better this season. A lot of Islander fans like to rant on how bad Scott Mayfield is defensively, but he did get marginally better this season. 2 goals, 13 assists, 15 points in 80 games. He missed 2 games for the birth of his child. He got a lot more points this season. He also he stayed healthy all season. So it's easier to tell how good a player is if they play healthy all season. But Mayfield, again, he's one of those longtime Islander players that are getting up there in age. So we'll see what happens in there. But another longtime Islander who's getting up there in age is Adam Pelech. But in the case of Adam Pelech, he had a fantastic season defensively. For a 31-year-old defenseman, Adam Pelech was great. Probably the second best defenseman on the Islanders defensively. And after scoring no goals last year and scoring only 1 the year before, Pelech gets 4 this year. Gets 16 points, and for the first time in his entire career, he plays all 82 games and stays healthy an entire season. So congratulations to Adam Pelech. That is worth celebrating at least a little bit. Adam Pelech was very good. Was very good this season. We have 3 rookies on here. The first one is Max Shabanov. I feel like Shabanov, again, has potential, but needs some work, just like Marshall Warren. 18 points in 44 games. Of course, a lot of the players coming from the KHL, Shabanov and Max Siplikov also came from the KHL. They're very small, the skaters. We know Ilya Sorokin came from the KHL, but he's a goalie. The skaters are very short. So Siplikov really didn't flourish that well. Shabanov has potential, but wasn't able to fulfill all of it yet. Definitely needs some work. He was also signed on a 1-year deal. He is a free agent this summer. I think the Islanders should keep it because Shabanov does have potential. Kyle Palmieri. First of all, he's my favorite Islander, and he's an absolute warrior. Kyle Palmieri, unfortunately, you can see 18 points in 25 games. You might be wondering, how come Kyle Palmieri only played 25 games? Well, Kyle Palmieri played the first 25 games of the season, and then right after Thanksgiving against the Flyers, we all watched live, he tore his ACL. And then, as he was getting up to go back to hardly skate back to the bench after he tore his ACL with a torn ACL, stole the puck and assisted on a goal. Absolute warrior stuff from Kyle Palmieri. Hopefully he is fully healthy for next year. Next year is the last year of his contract, so we'll see what the Islanders do after that, and we'll see how much Palmieri is improved or declined from the ACL injury. The longest tenured Islander, Casey Cizikas, who also has a contract coming up next year. Next year is the last year of his contract. 18 points in 81 games, pretty much the same as it's always been for Cizikas. Since Casey Cizikas has been on the Islanders for like almost 15 years, he's always been a fourth-line player, and he always plays that role perfectly. So, can't really go wrong with Cizikas. Ryan Pollock, he was all right this year. 27 points in 76 games. He did play through multiple injuries, though, so not happy about that. But when you're in a late playoff push, that's what you got to do. So, yeah, Pollock, pretty much the same as last year, but hopefully he's fully healthy the entire year next year. Anthony Duclair, 27 points in 62 games, much better than 11 points in 44 games. Duclair was fully healthy this year, but unfortunately, he just wasn't played that much. The highlight for Duclair was definitely his 5-point night against the Devils on January 6th. And I think he was pretty good. So he got a hat trick in that game, but just did not get enough playing time. So Duclair does his no team trade clause does lift in the summer, but he does have 2 years left on his deal. So we'll see what the Islanders do with him. I like Duclair, but again, we'll see what happens. Another rookie, Cal Ritchie, who really improved. Ritchie was filming. He was brought in from the Brock Nelson trade last year and was not eligible to come up to the Islanders. But he was this year, and after an injury at training camp and a few games in Bridgeport, he came up around Halloween. A very tough start for him, but he eventually got going. 30 points in 65 games doesn't tell the whole story. Cal Ritchie improved more and more as time went on, and he's going to be electric next year. He's only 21 years old, so I can't wait to see what Cal Ritchie's going to do next year. Another new Islander this year, Emil Heineman, who had 31 points in all 82 games. A career year for Heineman, for his standards. This was his second season of his career and his first with the Islanders. He was brought in from the Noah Dobson trade over the summer from Montreal. He's a goal scorer. We know that. 22 goals. Look at that. He did have a lot of cold stretches, but hopefully if he's paired up on a good line, he'll be able to shine in the right way. Tony DeAngelo, probably the second best defenseman on the Islanders. DeAngelo, 35 points in 76 games. Unfortunately, he did get injured at the worst time possible, but DeAngelo drastically improved over time, just like Cal Ritchie. And the only difference is that, well, DeAngelo is in a contract year. He is a free agent over the summer, but he does want to return to the Islanders. Lou Lamoriello gave him his second chance in the NHL, but obviously no more Lou. But we'll see if DeAngelo stays. I think majority of Islander fans, including me, would like DeAngelo to stay. A guy who we know is staying, J.G. Pageau, 35 points in 74 games. He did miss a few games in December due to injury. Pageau's looked okay. One thing to notice is that he rarely took any penalties all year. I believe he only took 2 penalties all year. And that's good for him because Pageau is one of the Islanders' top penalty killers and top face-off players. Pretty much around a little less point producing than last year, but Pajot's going to be here another 3 years, so we'll see what happens. Another underrated Islander, Simon Holmstrom. The silky mitts on this kid. Simon Holmstrom, 41 points in 79 games. He did not get to 20 goals like last year, but man, oh man, Simon Holmstrom, I love watching him play. He scores beautiful goals. He's great. He's a great penalty killer, and he's great on the rush. And yeah, it's such a joy to watch him play. He's one of the best Swedish players in the league, I think. Very underrated, and was on the radar to make the Olympics for Team Sweden. I know that. So yeah, he and Pajot will be cooking again next year. Can't wait to see that. The captain, Anders Lee, in what could be his final year as an Islander. 42 points in all 82 games. He did go down a lot from last year. He had 54 points last year. So 12 less points this year. You can start to see Anders Lee digressing. Again, he is also a free agent this summer. And Anders Lee has spent 13, 14 years with the Islanders. Has been the captain for 7-8 years, but we'll see what he does. I'm fine with him being re-signed on a team-friendly deal, but we'll see if him walking away or going to another team is the right call. Then so be it for him. And if this was Anders Lee's last year as an Islander, we thank him for everything that he's done. And now the top 3 point producers are the top 3 Islander skaters this year. Bo Horvat, the Islanders' leading goal scorer, once again, 31 goals. The only Islander to hit over 30 goals this season. He did get 57 points, pretty much around the same as last year, but he only played 68 games. Horvat did get injured twice. Once in December, he missed 4 or 5 games, and once in January where he missed 9 games. If he never got injured, Bo Horvat would have probably been close to 50 goals, I believe. Because when he first got injured, Bo Horvat was literally tied for first or second in the scoring race. So, very unfortunate that he got hurt at that time, and hopefully he's fully healthy next year and will score over 30 goals again. And then, the heart and soul of this team and my MVP for this season, the first overall pick from this past year's NHL draft, it is the Matthew Schaefer. In his rookie season as an 18-year-old defenseman, 59 points, 23 goals, tying Brian Leetch for most by any rookie defenseman, and he has the record for most by any 18-year-old defenseman. There is no doubt that Matthew Schaefer is winning Rookie of the Year. And if he doesn't, I mean, there's just no way. Schaefer is incredible. If the Islanders did not win the draft lottery and drafted Matthew Schaefer, the Islanders would be in literally no direction this year. But Matthew Schaefer, with how young he is, he brought the spark. He brought the motivation. He lit the fire under all the other Islander players and lit the fire for the fan base. 23 consecutive sellout games at UBS Arena for a reason. And that reason is Matthew Schaefer. And I can't wait to see what he does in year 2. Hopefully even better than year 1. And back to the top in point producing is Matt Barzal. Oh boy, Matt Barzal, 72 points. Good for him. The only game he missed was because he was late for practice and Patrick Waugh scratched him because he was late. Disciplinary reasons. But Barzal, great on the stat sheet, great rebound year after missing the majority of the season last year. But since the Olympics, Barzell was a little sloppy defensively and made some costly mistakes. I'm not saying other players didn't do it either, but Barzell did it as well. And I know everyone likes to say to Matt Barzell, shoot the puck more, but we've been saying it for years and hasn't really done anything. So hopefully Barzell can clean up those mistakes next year and just keep the points racking up. If Bo Horvat never got injured, Barzell would have easily had 80 points. Bo Horvat would have probably had 80 points as well. And if Kyle Palmieri never got injured, both Barzell and Horvat would have had 90 points. And Schaefer would have definitely hit over 70. But again, it's all about the what ifs, what if that, what if this. But the Islanders, in reality, were in a playoff spot for the majority of the season. They had when they had their backs against the wall, they were given every opportunity to get back in it, and they did not take it. They kept choking, and they ended up missing the playoffs, and that's on them. So hopefully they can clean up their mistakes and make the playoffs again next year. Matthew Darsh's first year as GM, a lot of people a little iffy, especially with the Soucy and Palat trades. But again, it's this guy's first year as GM. Give him a break. This was supposed to be a retool year, and they already all exceeded expectations. So let's be calm and see what next year takes us. Patrick Waugh was good for the most part as head coach, but he was not going to be the long-time answer, and he got fired with 4 games to go. Obviously, it ended under good terms, but he was fired. And the Islanders now have Peter DeBoer as the head coach. He's a very successful head coach. Most successful coach the Islanders have ever had since Barry Trotz. Wink, wink. So we'll see what Peter DeBoer can do with these Islanders in his first full season as head coach next year. So, yeah, that's it for me. This is my last Islander video until September, probably. And, yeah, my next video will probably be my predictions for the Stanley Cup playoffs. So this is Ross Belkin signing off. Wish the Islanders would have been in the playoffs, but they did this to themselves. They choked, and they made bad mistakes at the worst time possible, and they got no one to blame but themselves. So that's it for me. So I'll see you guys next time.